Hey everybody, this is a GPT I'm sharing here based around information gain. Shout out to Corey Tubeck-Grabur who kind of gave me the inspiration to do this one. But information gain is it's not a new concept in SEO. If you want to learn more about information gain, I've done a post over here, but it's been covered by lots of industry experts over the years. Bill Swalski even touched on it many years ago. Patents here from Google. Steve Toth also covered it here on niche pursuits with Jared as a. Yeah, there's lots of information out there about information gain if you want to dig deeper into the subject yourself. But what I've done is I've built a GPT around it that will help you execute on it. I'll drop a little guide for you anyway below this video. I'll just give you a rundown. Information gain optimization agent. Its primary goal is to enable. It identifies gaps, prioritizing underutilized entity attribute combinations, and aligns them with structured topical clusters to maximize entity recognition, query coverage, and ranking relevance. You can reference everything yourself, and of course, you can always ask this GPT questions, definitions, if you want better explanations for them. As I said, it does 6 steps, step 1 to 6. You can generally prompt it to say, proceed to step 1. I'll give you a little sample now, proceed to step 2, step 3. You can start by giving your query or keyword. You can also add there information about the main entity, the persona, the search intent. You can add all of that in at the beginning. This will actually go out and search SERP, so it will search Bing. Obviously, you may not be happy searching Bing, you may want Google, but you can always feed it those URLs and data from any other source that you want. I personally like to go out and take actual PDF copies of the entire visual page, and I like to upload them here. You can generally upload up to 10. So, you can feed it all of the proprietary data that you think it might be lacking yourself before you start anything. You can feed it megabytes and megabytes of data down here just by using add that. I personally like PDFs. It's a nice format for me because I'm here on a Mac and it's really easy to create. But worst case scenario, you could literally paste and copy in the articles you wanted to examine, So yeah, it can do a few things. It can help you improve the actual page, a page you're working on. It can help you build the outline and the draft for a brand new page. You can do competitive comparisons, compare my page to this page. So lots of different functions that you can pick up and play around with and learn yourself. And as I said, if you get stuck on anything, you can simply ask this GPT, perhaps you want to expand on this and you want to understand exactly what's happening when a frame semantic analyzer agent is actually working on something and what it's doing. So yeah, self-explanatory, a lot of it. I try doing my best to include like a user guide. So when you open it, you just click this and this will launch it. I like to always say to click that button at the start. Don't begin a project straight away, because what this actually does is it is in the back end anyway, but builds what you'd call just an added contextual window for the GPT in real time as to what's about to happen. So yeah, I always like to click that button. You get less errors. And if anything ever goes wrong and it goes a bit off tangent, you can always just click that and then send again. You can do that with every prompt actually, if there's ever a mistake in a prompt. From time to time, GPT does go a bit off reservation and doesn't do what you've asked at all. So just so you know, prompts, errors are easy to fix. If you get an error underneath, just click that, send again. You can keep a nice clean workflow instead of things getting messy correcting errors. So this is just a breakdown of the system, the IGOA system overview. So the first modules, it's 1 to 6. Each module you can think of it as a step in the process. The first step will just to be building up the context, and then we'll go through it step 1, 2, all the way to 6. And you might not need all of these steps, because you see number 5 here is topical clustering. This is when you actually want to build out more than one page. A lot of people will get to about here where they just want to build a single page. So this is just taking you further, but it's all included anyway. So it's a multi-purpose tool. This again is just giving you a rundown, core agent capabilities. There's anti and salience optimization agent in here, frame semantic agent, NLP friendliness agent, and also a semantic SEO writer agent. And they come all preloaded with rules themselves, individual rules, but you don't have to worry about them individually. They all have been told to work collaboratively together as well. So you can pick and mix, but by default, they'll all work together. So again, optimization deliverables. There's a blacklist agent in here. He's just, it's never perfect. It never is. As you can see, it's been told to avoid using a lot of the footprint words that we all know GPT overuses. Personally, I think it's better to build a persona agent rather than telling GPT not to do something. Encourage it to do something completely novel, and you'll probably get better results. But that agent's in there anyway. It's definitely an improvement on what you'd get in default outputs for sure. So it understands the concepts of entity positioning, what you'd call in semantics, proximity and proximity constraints, and things like that. Semantic structuring, so it understands contextual hierarchy, co-occurrence modeling, and attribute linking. Things subject, object, predicates, and all of this kind of stuff. It also can reiterate on itself, improve on its last output. You can always say that if it gives an output, and you can always ask it to ideate optimizations to the last output, and it will continually do that and improve on what it's already done. And you can do it for any of these processes here. So here's a sample, say. Oh no, that's not a sample. Say I wanted to do, I have a sample over here, do I? Yeah, I'm gonna include this little kind of guide for you. But let's say example first prompt here. Now you can use one or all of these options. As I said, generally speaking, the more data you give at the beginning, the more customized it is to your exact task. So more data in, proprietary data in, better outputs out. So this is just a sample, yeah? So the target query, AI and education. You don't need to include these delimiters either. You could just say equals, equals, equals. That's fine as well. We'll click on that. Now it's going to go out, pick up some general information. Don't mistake this as the actual output. It's just scraping the web now. And as I said, if you're not happy looking at Bing, it's going to be most of the way there anyway in most cases. But if you really want to push it on with data, you can give it the URLs you want to cover from Google, or as we said earlier, actual PDFs of the pages you want to compare yourself to, because not all competitors in the SERPs are competitors to your actual content. Remember that too. But for example purposes, we're just going to do this one. So as you can see, it's just picked up some generalized data about the thing. Subject. I know nothing about this example subject, so see it'll go to step 1, where it's going to break down, extract the SERP entities. Again, if you want to ever dig deeper on this, and you say that list is too small, perhaps, or you want to focus on a specific site, you can always just paste and copy this out, and your next prompt could be expand on, you could just write something like expand on equals, something like that. Oh, wrong paste, sorry. Expand on equals, and then just take out task 1. Yeah. Think of it like a tree of thought. Actually, yeah, the tree of thought raising agent is in here too, so you could even do that if you wanted to go super deep. As you can see, it's pulled out some entities, co-occurring entities, give it some attributes and contexts, text semantic redundancy. As you see, we're going to drill down into all of these now, each one. So it's giving me SERP frequencies, the novelty level, kind of a gap scoring. Some of you may get emojis, some of you may get actual numbers. The formatting of this may vary slightly from each other. But as you can see, a nice breakdown there. The outputs, it's prompted you here. Most of the time it's going to prompt you. And you just simply, as a user, you just have to paste that out. So I try to keep it as simple as possible for everyone to follow along. And generally, your next prompt will be in the last sentence of the last output. So you can continue on step 1, step 2, stop where you like, expand where you need, and then continue from where you left off. So here it's gone to missing entity attribute pairs. It was found in the SERP, the semantic relevance. So this is the semantic gap matrix, ranking semantic gaps by information and gain potential. So it's got its own IG scoring system in there. Now, of course, estimated search lift is not super accurate, obviously, for all of the other ranking variables. Task 2, align the semantic gaps. And again, you just go task 3. I was still actually bugging out on me there. I got stuck there. Nothing's ever perfect in GPT. From time to time, it does just bug out on you and leave you hanging. Most of the time, you can just, if it freezes up, just hold out for a minute and click refresh, or even close the window and open it in a new task window. Is the frame construction from the gaps. You can see here semantic frames, giving you suggestions here, the IG opportunity, entity enrichment through attribute layering. So here you can have expanded attributes, the suggested framing, the predicate, the entity pair, suggested framing. And again, if you want to expand on that, you could always say expand on and give you more detail. So again, frame integrations. Now we go to step 4, content structuring. As I said earlier, this is all, it should be all self-explanatory. I've tried to make it explain itself before and after it's done something, so you can just kind of read through it and follow along. Beginner friendly is the word I'm trying to use. It's beginner friendly. So here it's doing the article outline with the new information gain inserted. So I hope you get some value out of this. I'll finish out the sequence just for example purposes. Thankfully that one went well without any hiccups. Smooth sailing. There is a caveat. I know nothing about the subject matter, and I haven't given it too much data. As you can see, I've let it do its own thing with the language model's own capabilities. Proprietary data inputs is always key for your own workflows. You know, give it the data. Don't just expect that it knows things, especially proprietary stuff, things like search volume, competition, things like that. Give it everything you can, everything it will take, and you'll always get better results in the end. So, as you can see, it's giving me clustering suggestions, schema suggestions, and step 6 is just evaluation and iteration. There's a lot to digest here, I understand, a lot to go through, but play around with it. I hope you get some good use cases out of it. Contextual hierarchy assessment. You can see query network expansion. So yeah, just more data on what it's been looking at previously. So I think that's a wrap for this video. It's getting on long now. Hope this one helps.